Hello, I'm Police Commissioner William Dwyer. Welcome to another season of Police Journal. This program will give you an inside look at the Warren Police Department and highlight other issues that impact our community. I always welcome your comments and suggestions. Please feel free to email me at wdwyer@warrenpd.org. Thank you and enjoy the show. On this segment of Police Journal, we're going to be talking about Neighborhood Watch. Now, Neighborhood Watch has been around for 25 years, and it's very, very effective. It's the eyes and ears of the community. It assists the police department as far as identifying, criminals, identifies persons that are responsible for just a variety of crimes. Priority is obviously the home invasion as far as in the neighborhoods. It's Neighborhood Watch. We're going to bring this back full steam ahead as far as Neighborhood Watch for the city of Warren. We have pockets of organized neighborhoods that have the Neighborhood Watch program, but we don't have the entire city organized. So today I have two guests. First of all, I have Rose Gattari. Mm-hmm. And Rose, I have to compliment you because you're the first civilian we've ever had on Police Journal.
Oh my.
And I know you've been a resident of the city of Warren for 48 years.
Mm-hmm.
48 years. We appreciate all your efforts, especially in the area of Neighborhood Watch. You just recently met with myself and Deputy Commissioner Jerry Green concerning Neighborhood Watch in your area. You're a coordinator, and we appreciate that very much, which when you came in and you talked to us about Neighborhood Watch, it brought back the thought about bringing Neighborhood Watch back to the entire city of Warren. And we have Lieutenant Darcy Leutzinger here, and Lieutenant, appreciate you being here. I know that you were very instrumental in bringing Neighborhood Watch years ago to the city of Warren.
Correct.
And that because of manpower situations, we kind of fell back a little bit as far as Neighborhood Watch, but appreciate your efforts as far as bringing Neighborhood Watch back 100%. But Rose, let's get back to you for a minute. Let's talk about, you've been in the city for over 40 years. What's a little background on yourself? I know that your family obviously still live in Warren, I assume?
Yes, I love Warren, and that's why I kept involved on my block with the Neighborhood Watch program. As you say, I've been a resident 48 years, and I've been involved in the Neighborhood Watch program since about 1989. 1990. And, but I need to explain that the area has changed so much. And to put this in perspective for you, I can tell you that we started out with 32 homes, 32 residents on my block,
okay.
Maryland Street.
Uh-huh.
And of the 32 residents, there are now only 4 of the original people still living on Maryland. And of the 4, there are 2 elderly people who are in nursing homes. So one day I was looking out my window, since I'm retired now and able to do this, and for me, it was a deja vu story where I can look out and I see all these young couples moving in with little ones.
Right.
I have 6 children, and I enjoyed in my early years when I first moved there to be able to enjoy these children. And it'll be a surprise to many people who watch this, except people maybe my age, that we had 100 children on our block through these families. It was wonderful. There wasn't this worry about, are we safe? What's going on? So when I saw this and all these young couples, I didn't know who they were. And I thought, there was a day when I knew all these people, and they don't know about the Neighborhood Watch program. They're young, and perhaps I should introduce myself, because probably it won't be very long from now that I'm going to pass the cane on to these other people. Some younger people will be taking over, for the block, and I'd like to say continued. So it was a very exhilarating experience for me when I met these people because they were very open and accepted me. And I didn't know what I was going to face when I went there. I introduced myself and I explained the program to them. And
Rose, not to interrupt you, but
yes.
I want you to keep those thoughts because I think it's important to our viewing audience that they're aware of what a civilian does in the area of Neighborhood Watch, being a coordinator. But I do want to get into a little bit of the history as far as in Warren here, how Neighborhood Watch started and what Neighborhood Watch, what some of the requirements are also. So I want to address a couple questions to Lieutenant Leutzinger, who's been with the department now. How long have you been with the department,
23,
Lieutenant?
23 years.
And what's your background?
Back when I was hired as a patrol officer, I entered the community policing unit at that time. In the early 90s, we had a full unit dedicated to community organization, community facilitating. And we had neighborhood watches back then is when it was at its peak. And the idea was an officer was assigned to a specific area. He worked that area primarily, so the people that lived in those areas got to know their officer on a first name basis. So they built a trust with the officer there, and if they had an issue with crime or reporting blight or abandoned vehicles, they could go specifically to that officer. They would gather the information from all the other neighbors in that area, and they would bring these concerns to you, and you would address the concerns and help them with those problems.
Okay, so what happened, I mean, to the program? I mean, I've been in Warren now as the police commissioner for the last year and a half. Prior to coming here, I was in Farmington Hills, and we had a tremendous Neighborhood Watch program. We had about 140 different subdivisions that were organized, that were participating, and it's still really going strong there. What happened here, and that's why we're bringing this whole Neighborhood Watch concept program back to Warren full speed ahead. But what happened, and where do you think we should go to bring it back?
Well, I think what happened is at its heyday, we had 500 neighborhoods that were organized in the city of Warren.
500?
500. It was very large. Every area in the city of Warren was represented by an officer that worked that area. And over time, with budget constraints, with the downsizing of the department and the increased calls for service, we had to fold these officers back into patrol division to answer radio runs and handle calls for service. So unfortunately, over that time, less impact was put on the neighborhood specifically, and it was more just answering radio runs.
But I think today, talking to yourself, Lieutenant, and the other command officers in the department, we have a way to do this, even with the manpower we have today, but it's dependent on people like Rose. You know, we have to have people like you, Rose, that will do the coordinating, that will sign the people up for Neighborhood Watch, that will, really get the meetings going. We can have officers there, and then we can start the interaction program. And later this year, what we're going to do is we're going to put a press release out, and we're going to advertise it over cable that we're going to have a meeting at City Hall asking for people like yourself, Rose, to come in and volunteer being a coordinator for their particular neighborhood. That's very